Welcome to Rock and Rattle Retreat. We are still working on the house build, or actually dig. So this was fall 2020. Currently we have a big gap in the forest. So we are still digging here. It's getting closer, just not there yet. Don't know when we're actually going to get cement either, because COVID problems. They're putting it out 2 to 3 months after we actually get done with digging. So you can see there in the front, there is a ledge of rock which has been hammered down, and then it goes down into basically down in that crack down there is the basement height, which we have to go back approximately 30 feet, which is where that tractor is basically sitting. Still have to see what's underneath all of that dirt. Won't get to that for later yet. We are still moving just rocks and dirt from the top part to get a level spot, well, level for the state we're in. Okay, see the tractor over there? It's leaking diesel. We finally figure out what it is. There is a little hose line in there coming off of the return for the diesel fuel filter. It rubbed to make a little slot and started leaking. So he had to go to the other tractor that's sitting there, which is waiting for the hammer to be fixed and put back on. But it has a bucket on it, so it's a backhoe, and we place these rocks, boulders. We have lots of boulders, lots of rocks, so we're placing them all over the site for sitting, for keeping people out of certain things, just for decorations, because they got to do something with them. And we're also picking up pieces of rock. That's a nice flat one I put there on that big rock with the little Kubota. So I'm running the little Kubota because that's mine. This one that he's running there is a Terex, which is the excavators. So he's got the majority of the machinery. I have just a little bitty Kubota BX25. But it's a handy little thing. So off he goes for the day. I'm over there probably working on some wood. We're getting there, flat area. So working over on the car garage side. He's trying to get that cleared off and over past the garage a flatter spot. And a ramp up to the back. That way we can do some backfilling when we actually get a foundation poured. There is a problem though, of course. And that should be coming up in a little bit. Oh yeah, we did get that machine fixed the next day. He found a fuel line that was bigger than the actual hose that rubbed raw, so we stuffed in both ends of that and clamped them down, so it's basically fixed temporarily until he can actually get a hose the right size for the entire length. Now, he got up on top back there. Now we do come across some boulders that are actually too big for him to lift. Looks like he's filling up again with fuel, which means it's the end of the day. For this day, I'm over there doing some stuff on the wood miser, and here would be one of the rocks, boulders, that he can't actually lift, which means it's at least 5 to 6 tons of rock. So he's just pushing it over. And of course is messing up the driveway a little bit, but at least it can be moved. I tell you that the little Kubota BX25 is not going to even touch that rock. Okay, getting it over so that you can get on the other side of it and push it along. Now over on this side is where he's been dumping most of the rock and dirt that's been being pulled out. So you see the road there, the driveway. It used to go off, down from there, off on this right side. He's now made a bigger flat spot and still adding to it. So we're adding some rocks, boulders, to the edge over here, so that if somebody actually does, try to use this as parking, or realizes, oh, let's turn around here, and they don't realize that it drops off. I think it drops like 20 feet down there. So you don't want a car or anything going off down there, so we're putting these boulders out there. Okay, so still having some problems getting his rock out of here, so what do we gotta do? We gotta do a little blasting. And this blasting just cracks the rock enough for him to pull it out. And sometimes it doesn't work. Most of the time it does. Sometimes the blasting starts the whole process. And he'll come over, and this is part of it. He pulls out some of the rock and then has to dig around it to get it freed up, because the dirt is holding it in a little bit. Sort of creates a bit of a suction, I guess. Because there's a small layer of dirt, clay in between these rocks. I keep saying rocks, they're boulders. And there, you saw it move a little bit. He's still trying to get some dirt from around it. Repositioning the backhoe up there, and then eyes on it just right. There it goes. These boulders are in there on the layers, or they've been in there for so long they've cracked a little bit here and there, and I can kind of pull them out. If you can loosen up the dirt around it, then it'll crack. Sometimes they don't. Most of the time they do. And with the hammer hoe out of commission, now this one on this rock, I set 9 charges. And you can see a crack there on that top layer, which he finally gets off of there eventually, but during this, oh, pay attention there. You see that t-shirt I got on? Anybody name that YouTube show? In the meantime, I'm going to take down some of these dead trees. Because he was saying, oh, these are dead. They got some widowmakers up there. They shouldn't be up there. I'll help you take them down. I'm like, I don't need help taking them down. I'm taking down how many trees now, guys? How many of you guys count? A lot. So when he wasn't there one day, and I was bored, I decided, you know, let's just get these down and done with. And I'm working on the digging. Bang. So here's another view of that one. It made a lot of pieces. And here's another view of it. And then I took down some of these other dead ones also, not on camera, so there's a few less dead ones in this final scene. So this is what's we got after all of this. And if we get down here where the wood yard is, you see a lot of less dead trees poking their heads up. Probably can't tell much. There's the back piece. It's got some rocks still back there, but it's hard to tell what's been dug up more than not. And here we go. Look at this view. Now, if you want to keep track of us through this whole thing, subscribe, give us a comment of something else you want to look at. If possible, we'll do it. And thanks for watching this version of it. See you later.